Today, we'll be talking about German army trainers. More specifically, we'll be taking a look at this pair that Joseph sent me a few weeks back. So, what are you getting with a brand like Josepht? Well, there's not much info about the company online, but going by the website, it says they are a Korean brand offering timeless designs at an affordable price, using quality materials, including vibrant outsoles and ultralight insoles. And if you read between the lines, most of their leather shoes are probably cemented. That's it. Are these GATs any good? Let's find out. Okay, first impression is that these GATs, or the Smith as Joseph calls them, aren't a one-to-one replica. Compared to the originals, which only have one suede panel on the toe area, the Smith has suede panels on the sides and heel as well as around the eyelets. And if you look closer, it has that zigzag edge you often see in Brooks. On the whole, I'd say it looks closer to the Magellas than the original, if that matters to you. Speaking of suede, they are from Josepht, which is surprising to see at this price point. If you didn't know, Josepht is considered to be one of the best suede tanneries in the world. Not sure what grade of suede are on this, but as far as I can tell, the texture is buttery smooth and the short naps feel luxurious. I've even got caught wearing them in the rain and there weren't any watermarks after it dried, so don't think I can ask for more than that. Moving on to the leather, it's a cowhide sourced from a gold-rated tannery based in Italy. There's not much more info than that, but judging by how smooth and uniform it is, it's definitely chrome tanned. There's also a white layer of coating, though it doesn't feel overly plasticky or treated. I've been wearing the Smith every other day for the past few weeks, and I'm not sure if other GATs are like this, but there are minimal, if not no creases on the leather where it flexes. Then again, it's mostly because it's flexing where the suede panel is. The stitching quality on the uppers is excellent. No loose threads or wonky stitches whatsoever, and the uppers are attached cleanly to the gumsole with no excess glue. The gumsole comes with the classic GAT thread pattern with a made in Korea mark. There's no heel drag so far, and it's relatively grippy on most surfaces, but for some reason, it loses all that grip on smooth, wet ground. Kinda ironic since this was originally designed for indoor use, but I wouldn't worry about it if you're not walking on wet surfaces often. Now, I'm not gonna cut apart the shoes like Rose and View, but based on what I'm feeling, the shoe is lacking a heel counter and a shank. Boot enthusiasts will probably prefer otherwise, but as someone who does barefoot running, I, on the contrary, find this lack of structure more comfortable, and coupled with the minimally padded tongue and collar as well as a straw ball construction, they make for a noticeably more flexible and softer shoe. Now, despite all that, the break-in period was a pain. The first time I wore it, the suede on the inner heel tab kept rubbing against my skin, which caused blisters on my right heel. Somehow my left side was fine, so maybe it's the way I walk. Anyway, I wasn't gonna put up with it, so I just wore crew socks for the next 5 wears. And fortunately after that, the heel tab no longer caused any issues, and I could finally fully appreciate the comfort of the shoe, which a large part of it is due to the thick insoles. The insole has 3 layers: a thin leather sock liner, a foam layer, and what feels like a squishy silicone gel layer. At about 1.5 cm altogether, it adds some height if that matters to you. But more importantly, it's super comfy, especially when combined with the leather-lined interior. In fact, it wears more like a pair of New Balances than Sambas, and I don't think my feet have ever gotten fatigued in these. Only thing is that the insoles aren't meant to be removed, but I guess you could if you pulled hard enough. In terms of sizing, I'd say it fits true to your sneaker size. I went with a US 8, which is what I typically wear, and they fit great lengthwise and don't feel restrictive on my white feet. Also, I have a relatively low instep, so I usually tie my shoelaces a bit tighter, and I was fully expecting an overly long shoelace, but surprisingly, they don't look half bad, which goes a long way, pun intended, towards a cleaner silhouette. So, are the Smiths any good? Well, at 149 USD or about $133 with my promo code, as well as free shipping if you're in the US or Canada, it's a pretty good deal for what you're getting. Even with shipping, I still think it's okay in the grand scheme of menswear. They are definitely a step up in quality from the original GATs and Adidas BW Army, though if you're in the market for a premium GAT, a fairer comparison would be with brands like Beckett Siminon, Skolix and Oliver Cabell. I've never tried any of them, but at least from the images online, they all seem to have a slimmer profile than the Smith, though I must say the Smith looks sleeker in real life than the picture suggests. On paper, they are all made from quality materials, which are likely more similar than not. That said, if you must have the so-called better constructed GAT, then Skolix with its shank and leatherboard stiffener is probably the one to get. On the other hand, if comfort is your most important criteria, then the Smith is the obvious choice, assuming you're willing to go through the pain of breaking in the heel tab or, just wear longer socks during the first few wears. So if you'd like to have a pair like this, remember to use this code for 11% off your order. Until next time, stay subtle.